Oh, hell yes. Welcome. Welcome to Talking Shop, the greatest intro of all time. Live on Triller TV, right in front of the paywall. Listen, we're not asking you to go pay for this. What you got to do is just please sign up for Triller Plus. Sign up. You got to sign up. I know that's a hassle, but just sign up. You get the opportunity to see us. What day are we on, LG? Hell, I don't even know.
It is Wednesday morning. This drops every other Thursday. It is on Roku. STGN 49 is our channel over there. Also in front of the paywall on Triller. But we have special guests, and you're a special intro man. So let's get to it, baby.
Well, I want to say this today. Usually we sit, we talk about what's going on for us, for the weekend, and we do have a big weekend going on. We got a lot going on this weekend. But right now, we're very blessed and lucky to have people from a place that we've just announced we're going to be showing up at.
That's signed. Right.
We just signed. We might as well just go out there. We signed a massive deal.
Massive
deal.
Massive.
With something that we're truthfully very proud of and happy to announce.
Excited, yeah.
We have two guys in here from the NWA, which you can catch every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel 210 with replays later that night, full episodes on demand. Here we are talking today, all things National Wrestling Alliance. We've got the world's heavyweight champion, Thom Latimer. Thank you for joining the shop.
Good morning, Thom. On the road.
Good morning,
appreciate you being here.
He's on the road. He's hiding in the car somewhere. We'll make sure he's doing good. Make sure he's okay. Is everything all right with you, Thom?
It's lovely, world champion stuff going on. I'm constantly defending. I mean, I'm defending all over the place. So you've caught me at the right time, gents.
No, but that is pretty cool, though. I want to get into that. And welcome. Look at Kyle Davis in an actual room, an actual office,
Kyle Davis Studios right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, I'm told. And
it's a closet.
Hey, man, come on. This is pro wrestling. I was going to give you the build-up.
Why lie? Let's be honest. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the butt crack of dawn. These are busy men. They have busy lives, and they have graced us with their presence in the National Wrestling Alliance coming up at Samhain Part 3, Atlanta, Georgia, center stage. Get your tickets at NWALiveEvents.com. That is Saturday, October 17th. Just a few short weeks away. Not even a week and a half, baby. We're happy to have you.
That was beautiful, and I'm happy that you pronounced Samhain because we went back and forth over text about how to pronounce it, and then I did not even say it in our opening announcement / promo. So thank you for doing that for me, not embarrassing us on our own show this morning. That is great.
You plug power, though.
Kyle, yeah. So what is your story for the people in Talking Shop? This is a debut of Thom. Debut of Kyle, a debut of really the NWA on Talking Shop.
We've chapter, boys.
I keep saying this. Luckily I've just been locked up in contracts since the year of 2008. So I was with New Japan for 8 years. I went to WWE for 4 years. I went straight to Impact Wrestling for 2 straight years, right back to WWE, and now I'm back out in the wild, and I just kind of am starting I'm reigniting myself back into the world of what I'm getting at is there's so much professional wrestling out there. It's wild, and I've just almost forgot how much there is, and it's incredible. It's incredible as I was researching about the NWA and especially where it's come from, where it's at, what it is. Kyle, talk to me. What is your story with the NWA, your story in professional wrestling? What is your story, pal?
Well, let's just go with NWA right now. We're owned by William Patrick Corrigan, Billy Corrigan of the Smashing Pumpkins. And I know what you're saying. Why does a rock star have a wrestling company? Because rock stars are going to rock star. When you grow up on wrestling and you love something and you got money in your pocket, you apparently say, hey, I want a little bit of creative control on this. I want a little say in the business. Guy bought the National Wrestling Alliance. It was at a point where once upon a time, the National Wrestling Alliance, we call it the dark days, pre-Lightning One era. You guys know this. You were there. You've done it. I used to work for the National Wrestling Alliance in a wrestling capacity and managerial. I used to manage the tag team champions, the Players Club in NWA Liberty States back in 09. In fact, at one point in time, I was even told, go to California. Go to the New Japan dojo. Go do all that. So I could have crossed paths with the Good Brothers years ago. But unfortunately, I'm a short man. I didn't put a lot of effort into professional wrestling when I broke into Ring of Honor. I was trained by Brian Danielson. And then one day, Uncle Adam Pearce said, Kyle, you're the shits in the ring. I think I want to make you a broadcaster because you could talk.
That's all right.
So here I am.
I love it. You're a Connecticut guy originally, right? I read that.
Yes,
right?
if I was a rapper, it'd be Kid Connecticut. But
I'm
yes,
glad you didn't call me
Connecticut.
from a 203 number. It would have driven me nuts.
You saw 860. It bothered you, didn't it?
And
but no. The good news is that the National Wrestling Alliance, it gives all of us an opportunity that have been in professional wrestling that maybe didn't find ourselves in the position to be, on a bigger platform, or maybe we were, and maybe times happen and things occur, but Billy Corgan has given everyone an opportunity to shine, to grow, to build. And the National Wrestling Alliance, it is thriving 77 years. You can find NWA Power every week on the Roku Sports Channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, replays at 11. And then there's also on demand on that as well. So right now, the NWA is just, we are on a roll. We're happy to be on Roku. We're happy to have Thom Latimer as the world champion. This is about me. This is about Thom. It's about the man who holds the 10 pounds of gold internationally all over the place. And at the end of the day, really, I think Thom is a success story in the way where when I first met him, we were both at the point where we were trying to get our foot back into professional wrestling. And here we are, thriving. I'm Office. You're a champion. We're both damn handsome.
Yeah, that was a great introduction. I needed people to know. I needed people to know who Kyle Davis was, so they didn't go, "Who the fuck is the other bald guy on there with him?"
Well, I think familiarity with NWA they know, but through the Talking Shop universe, it's a great intro. But that was a great lead into Thom, which I wanted to get to. We have been seeing Thom traveling and defending the famous 10 pounds of gold since we came back out into the wild in May. I follow both of you guys. I see your schedule. Your schedule is wild. What a versed traveling world heavyweight champion. Talk about that for a minute, good brother, because I absolutely love seeing that. I love seeing the boys on the road, and it is a big deal. I watched you walk into Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. You got a suit on, you're dressed to the nines, you're tan, you're jacked, you're handsome, you got the title. And it takes people aback. You exude superstar when you walk into these arenas and these buildings, and it's great to see the title traveling again, I guess is what I'm getting at.
It's very kind of you, mate. I think I'm making up for lost time a little bit. Am I a guy that wants to wear a suit and a shirt? No. This is the first time I've ever worn sleeves, to be honest. But I definitely do feel like I'm making up for lost time. I'm sort of late to the dance when it comes to sort of getting my. Can we swear on this? Is that okay?
Oh, fuck yes, we can, buddy.
Get as square as you want, my brother.
Yeah, getting my shit together. It's taking me an incredibly long time. I'm sort of like a decade behind where I should or thought I was going to be. And so for me, it's not something that I necessarily need to do every weekend, or probably should, but it's something that I enjoy doing, and I do feel like I'm making up for lost time by being able to defend this thing and take it wherever it wants to be defended. And there's definitely a level of pride and enjoyment that comes with that. And I also don't know how long it's going to last either. You're at the mercy of Father Time, and then you're also at the mercy of injuries and booking, whatever, right? So I just want to make the best start of the time that I have. And also, I'm nearly 40. And again, I presumed I was going to be doing all these things a decade ago. So again, it's just all about making up for lost time and basically showing the wrestling bubble that we live in that this is who I am. Yeah, it's taken me a lot of time to get to this point, but I want to be able to at least look back at the back end of my career and go, that's the guy I should have been the entire time, and at least show that I did achieve and get to that point, whatever that ceiling for me is.
Dude, I love that though. But if you don't mind, if you just can dude, dive into that. What do you mean by making up for like lost time? What do you mean by that? Because I look at it like this. When I look back in my Japan days that I was there for almost a decade, And I always, in my mind, I was thinking, fuck, I need to be in the WWE. I need to be at TNA when TNA was hot, when 2012, 13, et cetera. I need to be on American TV. Why am I doing this so far away from my kids? I need to be there. But then I look back and I go, I wish I would have had a different mentality, and I wish I would have just kind of dove more into that and just appreciated that, because if you just keep fighting and keep doing what you're doing, everything else is gonna fucking come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Again, when you're younger, you think you've got all the time in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's only when you look back you think, oh, where did I get? I blinked and all of a sudden I'm here. How did that come to be? I thought I'll figure it out, but you don't have a lot. Time's going. And then also, there's a sort of pressure that gets, when I first broke in, when I started when I was around 16, instantly all I wanted to do, like everybody, is go to WWE, right? And that's all I focused on. And that's all that I cared about. And somehow, come hell or high water, I was going to get hired and go to WWE. And that happened when I was 23. The problem with that was I was 23 and I hadn't lived. I didn't drive a car. There's a ton of stuff I hadn't done, and I hadn't grown up mentally at all in my brain. I was a child. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was still playing with action figures up until 2 years before. You know what I mean?
Shut your mouth. I have them in the background.
I think I'm still a child. I think at this moment.
No, you're making a greent point though. I went into that system at 21 and the same exact thing. Like you're not grown up enough to handle that yet. And then, the bumps in the road and however it shakes out for you. Yeah, please continue. That's great.
But you make a good point too. Like it, dude. I'm sorry, real quick. People need to know life goes like this, dude. Careers go like this. If you just understand that it's literally, bam. My grandma died when she was 96. She told me for years, life, it feels like it went like this, honey. And she snapped her fingers. And I'm glad that the point that you make, it's just for younger wrestlers listening, or wrestlers our age, or people that are in the business now, understand that this shit
people
don't
in
stop.
real life.
Life doesn't stop. It continues.
Can I say one thing real quick to younger wrestlers too?
Of course.
We all get into wrestling because it's either we see somebody on TV that we want to emulate, or it allows us to be a character or a personality that maybe in real life we never could be. And it kind of helps us, if you're the right person, not an asshole, find who you are to fit in. And I think a lot of people, Thom, I know that you and I, when we first met, had this conversation about not living up to who we thought we'd be in wrestling. Hell, I'm a broadcaster and I'm office now. I was going to be a pro wrestler. Failed. But there's nothing wrong with that. What I wanted to say was there's only so many spots in professional wrestling that really exist. And you see doctors, you see lawyers, you see all these other trades. There's hundreds of thousands of people in every field. In professional wrestling, there's really not. So even if you get your foot in the ring, if you ever appear on television in any aspect, if somebody knows your name, you have succeeded in ways that most people never will. There are so few wrestlers in the world that just to say you're a professional wrestler, you are in the 1% of a field that most people will never be able to attain to. And it's okay to not get to where you thought you were, or not be who you are, because that might not be your niche. You might find something else. You might be on the Talking Shop podcast at 5:40 in the morning.
It's funny you bring that up, because we get
not hungover.
We get asked around the world all the time by young aspiring wrestlers, like what advice would you give? And we always say the same thing. It was told to us by an old timer years ago, but the only piece of advice that I know how to even give is just don't take no for an answer. No is not an answer. It's just another question. And if you believe in yourself and you work hard enough, there's a way to find your way in some capacity. But you just can't take the negative route and put your head down. You got to keep showing up and keep swinging. And I think that's really important for the aspiring pro wrestlers out there as well.
Yeah, and Thom, you came up in the UK indie scene, and then you got hired by WWE. How did that come about? Since we're in it,
well, like back then, Carl, it was like getting to the moon. Nowadays, it seems not that it's an easy task getting hired, right? But
sure,
it definitely seemed like it was like there was no wrestling schools. If there was, you have to do your real hard due diligence on the internet to be able to find it. The internet back then,
yes,
and there was just nothing. There was just nothing going on, um, and so I knew that it was going to be bloody difficult. And somehow I found when I was about, I don't know how old I would have been, I was probably about 17, I moved to Harrogate next door to Leeds, and I found this wrestling gym run by Drew McDonald and Jeff Kay, some old world sport veteran guys, right? Both long gone now. And they had this tiny little school in this old school bodybuilding gym where everything was broken and dirty and disgusting. And upstairs, there's a few mats on the floor, and they would meet there every Sunday for about 3 hours and show the boys chain wrestling. And so I remember walking in there and just being blown away because I kind of started with another promotion and sort of done a bit of training, but really no one knew what they were doing. And I walked in there and I saw these guys chaining around doing the old British style, and I was flabbergasted. I had no idea what I was watching, which I thought I already knew what I was doing. And I was like, wow. Anyway, somehow, by the grace of God, Jeff Kay was close friends with Finley, and Finley was an agent, doing his thing back then. This would have been, 2004 or 5. And so somehow I'd found this gym in the middle of Leeds, in the middle of nowhere, with no identity. No one knew what was going on. And somehow the old man smoking cigarettes that was coaching there, he was mates with Finley. And so every time WWE came to town, we got to go as kids and sort of roll around in front of Triple H, in front of whoever, right? And I think one of the first times I went to one of the TV tapings, that I had no wrestling experience, and I don't think I've even had a match at this point. I think I might have had like one tag match at a Hell's Angels festival randomly, right? And other than that, nothing. And they stuck me and a friend on Heat against Snitsky and Tomko in 05. And I remember at that point, I remember Tomko or Snitsky, one of the two, booting me in the face, right, and hearing the whole arena go, ah. And I remember looking in the corner and seeing the WWE logo on the WWF logo on, WWE logo on the turnbuckle, and going, wow, I'm in a WWE ring, man. The chances of making it or getting there is feasible, it's doable. And I remember just having this massive turning point in the middle of the ring after getting my head kicked off, and just thinking, wow, this is obviously something that and I knew in my brain that I was going to make it somehow. I was going to do it, but I just didn't know how. And so, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like, maybe everything's, there's no coincidences, you know what I mean? It was just weird that I found this gym in the middle of nowhere no one knew about, and that helped me get to the place where I was getting in front of WWE. And then years later, I think it just took another 5 or 6 years before I got hired, of trying out every time, hearing nothing. I even quit for a year because I never thought. Finally they did, and even then it nearly didn't happen. Like, I got pretty lucky with that whole thing too. So and then eventually in 09 I got hired, and they brought me over to FCW. And again, it was another one of those things that I think when I walked in the door, I grew up as an Attitude Era kid, and I hadn't done any due diligence on what the product was. I was still watching tapes from 96, 97, 98, right?
Yep.
And so when I walked in 2010, I went, what the... And then I saw pictures on the wall saying, like, you're not here to have a spot, you're here to take a spot, stab. I was like, oh man, I thought we were all going to be friends and have a good time, and you know what I mean, like wrestle for the good of the fans, but I
give
didn't
each other stunners.
I just thought it was going to be a fantastic time, and it wasn't, and I went, oh, my dreams, absolute bullshit, like what? And it's my own fault, because I went in there with a certain mindset on what it was going to be. Because it wasn't, my dreams just shattered in front of me on that very first day, and I went, oh, fuck this, I don't like this. And in that time, I mean, I was there for 2 years before I got fired because I had a drinking problem. About 20 people quit. Like, people people quit because it sucked that bad. And that's kind of wild, right? These people's, and they all had the same, more or less, all had the same sort of, idea as me. This is their dream. This is their everything. And so for them to say, fuck this, I'm out of here. And 20 of them. I mean, I think a lot more people than just me had their dreams shattered when they walked in that door. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's an eye opener for sure.
It's an eye opener for sure. I think, but and again, you're going there so young as well. I mean, I say with my career, I always say, I think God had me, or some higher power or something. Whatever you believe in, I think I believe in God. I don't know, but I think he put me, he didn't let me go and get famous at 23 or 24 because he knew what the machine gun would have turned into, a fucking psycho. So he pushed my time farther back to figure it out. But you said you got fired, so you got fired after 2 years there. Then what did you do?
Yeah. Well, I was in a real good spot, right? Me and Connor O'Brien, me and Ryan, and
the Ascension, right?
Yeah, you know Ryan real well.
Yep.
Like me and him actually was weird because me and him even on the medical when they flew me into America for the first time for my medical, he was also coming back to do review, so he was having his medicals at the same time. We shared a hotel room together, and we even had the same weird dream that night where we're both getting ready for, it's Raw or whatever, and we've both got one boot on, and our music's playing, and Vince is yelling at us, "Go out, go!" And I'm like, "I've only got one boot on now."
I think we've all had that dream, unfortunately.
Right? Yeah. And we both had that dream that night, which is really weird, but it was kind of just strange. Again, no coincidences. Me and him end up then going into a group called The Ascension, been a tag team for a long time, really close friends. And so it was very bizarre. It was, again, meant to be almost. But I'd been drinking, I'd stopped my drinking problems, prior to, pretty much getting there. I'm not saying that's the catalyst to it, but it definitely didn't help. There was no other out there, right? Or you could you drug tested, you this and that. The only thing you can do is drink. So what you're going to do?
There's a lot of drinking in those days. Yeah.
So I didn't know. Sorry, go on.
Continue. No. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't realize what a beast was being uncovered, and we were supposed to go up the Ascension. At least me and Ryan. After the Shield, we were supposed to win the NXT tag belts, the first ones, and then go up after the Shield. And I went out, got drunk, got arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, drunk and disorderly. And I'd already gotten a DUI my first week in developmental, and they'd let me off on that. And so, egotistically, I thought, because I was in a good spot and they liked me, I was like, I'll be all right. And then 3 days later, sat home, I got the call, right, that's you done. And I remember sending Johnny Ace an email and a few others after, sort of thanking him, you know what I mean, for, look, you took a chance on me. I'm sorry I messed up. And Johnny was like, we'll definitely deal with you down the road again. We were high on you. Go away and sort out your demons, right? You've obviously got a drinking problem. And I was like, nah, I don't have a drinking problem.
What does he know?
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Because I remember looking at this email like 10, 15 years, whatever it was after, and being like, oh man, Johnny was literally telling me I could have come back if I'd have been an idiot. Anyway, then I ended up in TNA about a year or so later, because I was close friends with Nick Aldis, and so like Nick brought me in and helped me get a tryout, and then that same day they hired me, and so I managed to get a good run with them. And again, same sort of situation. I was given that, like, Abyss, bless him, put me over in all these Monster Ball matches. And Dixie Carter, remember one time telling me, like, oh, my kids, you're their favorite wrestler. I'm like, oh, okay. And stuff was going great. But again, they gave me the ball, but I wasn't ready for the ball. The second anyone would give me a ball, I'd kick it as far away as I could, And so it was another situation of, you've got the world, Tom. People like you. You're obviously good. Get your shit together and make some money and stop being an idiot. But again, same situation, arrested, I got kicked out of Japan. Like I got booked on a tour, and I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. got drunk, got into some trouble, made it 1 week, got kicked out. So it was just like this repeating pattern of being given the ball by companies and just kicking it away. And so finally, when I ended up at NWA in 2019, it was time to sort of get sober and grow up. And and again, it was, on the look of knowing Billy at TNA and developing a relationship with him there that helped build that gap between going. Because I'll be honest, when Billy got to TNA, we were mates, right? So every time he would come, I would tell him all the things that I shouldn't, not knowing he was going to be my boss. There's a lot of things I wouldn't have told him had I have known that he would be my boss.
It's funny how that works out, right?
But I also feel like he knew the kind of person and I was. Maybe you could relate to some other stuff. I don't know, but I just think that he could see through that, and he knew that okay, if this guy gets his act together, he could be something that would work out for me down the road. Yeah. And luckily, that's how it has come to be. Because there's part of me that wants to be able to prove to him, to myself, to everyone that that no matter what, you can get your shit together and you can sort it out and you can be what you want to be. And I've been very lucky and blessed to be able to do that, because I've burnt every bridge. So to still have a bridge remaining and be able to do it, it's a blessing for me.
It's a great redemption story.
I love that, dude. That's like, no wonder.
Yeah, that's
no wonder we're buddies. Like I don't even know you very well. I'm not sure your real name or not, but I know we just connected for some reason. When I see you, it's there's another brother, and it's just a nice big hug and a hello without even ever hanging out.
I will say this: I do think the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office loved arresting professional wrestlers during that era. That was a hobby of theirs, whether you were in the wrong or right.
Yeah.
Well, you brought it up a couple of times. If you don't mind going there, because I'm a full blown sober brother now, 2 years. I'm very public about it, and I think I'm public about it because I know if I wasn't, I'd be I catch myself in an airport walking directly to a bar sometimes, and I go, "What am I doing?" And I turn back around and I walk the other way. Are you full blown? Are you a sober brother now?
Yeah, well, congrats, Carl. It's a big deal, man. I don't think people,
thank you.
Give it. I'm sure people do give enough credit, but it really is. You've got to figure out how to redo life, because everything revolves around that drink. How do you hang out with friends and family? How do you go to the movies? How do you drive a car? How do you know what I mean?
Hold on. You want to watch a football game? How am I supposed to watch the Bengals game and enjoy this? Like, fuck you. This is your fault. How do you expect me to do this?
So you'll know. You have to learn how to do. Because for me, and I wish I could be like this, and I'm very jealous of people that can be, because I can't. I'm not someone that can have a piece of chocolate, right? It's game over then. It's full on debauchery, and it's the same with if there's one beer, you can have one beer and none, or I'll prefer to have none, because it would lead to the 20 to 40 to whatever, and so that was the hardest part, though, was just learning how to do life without it, and then it's a bit like a death. The longer you go, the easier it is. Because I was the same way. Every time I walk into 7-Eleven, the first thing I would go to was where the alcohol was. And then I had to relearn to not do that. And same as going into a bar, into a restaurant, the first thing I would go find wherever the Stella pump is. And so it was just figuring out how to redo life. What was amazing, though, and what I didn't realize was that like bad things. Now they're going to happen, right? There's going to be deaths in my life. There's going to be bad things that happen that are going to suck, right? But what I found, at least for me, is nothing bad 99.9% of the time ever happens to me now that I'm sober, because it was always drink related. Everything was drink related when it came to sort of negativity. The only thing that I'll struggle with, and I always will be when something really, really bad happens in my life. Like I've had this happen in the nearly 7 years I've been sober. It happened a couple of times where something really detrimental has happened, and the only thing that I want to do is drink. And that's when it gets really, really, really hard, and that's when it's a test again, because it's just like, but I'm so proud of doing it and being able to look at myself in the mirror that I feel like I would think that, and maybe I'll go there in my mind, but I don't know if I would take that plunge. But then again, I've not been tested that much, so it's like it's kind of one of those things. It's never going to go away, but it's just like, again, it's just. I just hope that, again, it's just all about hoping that you can, when the time comes, that you can stick to your guns on it, because and I can't promise myself that I will, but I just have to take that day when it comes, because it's a worry. It is.
Yeah, of course. No, congratulations, dude. I tell people now, it's like, if something's going on, I've never felt this much. I can feel shit now, if that makes sense. Like, I feel emotions. I remember when, we got fired from WWE the first time, I was like, all right, I opened up a bottle of wine during COVID and I kind of forgot about it. And then I forgot about it for 2 fucking years. And but then,
it's amazing.
My grandma died. I flew to Saudi Arabia. I got the news that my grandma died. I was eating yakiniku, Korean barbecue in Dallas, Texas. I got the news and went, fuck. I mean, she was one of my best friends. I mean, I must have turned up. Yeah. I was already probably 6 or 7 White Claws deep. And then at that point I went about 15 beers deep and flew to Saudi Arabia and went on a 2-year bender and forgot about it. And so now I'm 2 years sober. I'm like waking back up every day. I'm thinking about my grandma and I'm feeling these things now. And it's like you're relearning, like you just said, you're relearning to live and you're relearning to feel. And that's just, I'm glad that you're able to, congratulations, keep going. Cause as a sober brother, talking to other people that don't understand anything that I'm going through. And I'm glad we're able to talk about this here. And if anybody's struggling or if with alcohol, my goodness, talkandshopgoodbrothers@gmail.com. I'll send you back a happy email. I'm telling you, I know how to, if brothers like me and Thom Latimer can do it, whew, anybody can.
I know that's what I think too, Carl. Because I didn't ever think ever that I'd be able to do it. Never. And it's amazing how many more people like us. And I think Curtis Fandango, so, but like a lot of guys are slowly just. It's one of those things. It's kind of like if you don't, I don't think you're going to survive this.
Yeah.
Like and and again, it's like you're talking about having to learn. Feel your emotions again. That's a good thing for a lot of us. It's so we don't feel, isn't it? So like that it's definitely something that has to happen. You have to be comfortable again feeling because for me, I want to numb everything for the longest time. But it is amazing how many more and more people get sober in this job. And I mean, it's one of those things now. The kids nowadays in the job, I think they play PlayStation. They don't really party. So there's a positive, I guess, to that. That's not as much of as a thing anymore. Because for me, I got into the job because I wanted to party. Like that was one of the perks of the job. Like the wrestling was a way to get to the bar to have the fun, and so now it's kind of nice to be able to enjoy the wrestling, and it might sound really sad, and it's probably just because I'm an old bastard, but now when I go back to my room by myself after the wrestling, that's my excitement. I'm back to my room by myself. I can, like not talk to anybody. Oh, it's great.
That's your piece. I tell me and Gallows, Gallows is my best buddy, and all we do is hang out. Everyone's like, you don't have to hang out together. I'm just so used to being around him. I don't mind. But then, now that I'm a sober brother, like he'll be like, hey, you want to go grab some dinner? And I'm like, I'll get back to the room.
I'm good.
Let me go to the room, brother. I need some alone brother time.
It's funny though, you guys are talking about the parallel to the reason we're on here this morning on Talking Shop, the NWA edition. It's a resurgence of yourselves, coming up with a resurgence of the NWA since the Billy Corgan era has taken over. I remember meeting Billy when I was in TNA 2012, 2013. And then as we go on through our careers, and I think we were probably in Japan at the time that I heard that Billy Corgan had purchased the NWA and thought, well, what is this going to be? And what is it? And it's like it started as a slow burn. And I got to admit, I was watching NWA Power on Roku in my gym here at the house over the last couple of days. What a fantastic show. What a resurgence. We got 2 top NWA men here right now. Where are we going, boys? We're excited to jump on center stage in Atlanta, my hometown. Our debut Friday, October 17th. Salwin.
Damn, you got this, baby.
Hell yeah! There we go.
And are we going William Patrick Corbin? Corbin.
No, listen, Baron Corbin ain't
coming.
Yes, William Patrick Corrigan. But just a second, let's talk about this resurgence of the NWA. We got the World Heavyweight Champion on here. The great feel-good story there out of the two of you. But the whole time you were telling it, I couldn't get out of my head that it's a resurgence of everything, and it's a beautiful thing.
It was
one
perfect.
of my best buddies in the whole world, Mike Knox, NWA.
Oh.
Tag team champion with Trevor Murdoch. What a great team they are. You watch the plethora of talent coming through the NWA. I was watching Colby Carino have a banger on there yesterday morning when I was training. I saw Carissa Rivera recently debuted. That's another person who was kind of a hidden talent in WWE. So it's fun to see all these people with this platform. And it's a really cool platform because I hadn't seen the show in a while. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see where we're going and what happens next, brothers.
Am I reading this right? Did you just recently you defended against Rhino and Colby Carino? Is that a recent match?
Yeah, I mean, recent
defense.
That is a recent title defense. Just Crockett Cup, the 2300 Arena, the annual tag team tournament. Thom Latimer main evented, defending against both the Man Beast Rhino and the Prince of Old School, Colby Carino, in a building that Colby's father made famous. Absolutely. I don't want to bring up the nepotism, but still, hell of a match. Thom left with his hand raised high, and we are going on a 1-year title reign for Thom Latimer. And as a man who I met 6 years ago, and we were both kind of figuring out where the hell we were going to be in wrestling at this point. To have you be the champion, it is something where I'm very proud of you. You have grown so much as a human being. I also am pissed off at you right now because you're wearing a hat in the car and you have a full head of hair. You're the only person on this podcast.
Beautiful.
And here you are hiding the man you are from the rest of us right now. Tan, bronzed, cut, title, everything that one would think. So, like, when you look in a mirror, do you realize that you are
a Greek god
most people wish they could be as a professional wrestler?
Thom has these similarities, and I've said it before on this podcast, but he has this thing about him where I said it about Randy Orton before. Like, if you had to create a wrestler that's going to be the champion on your video game, I don't play video games, but
you'd make me
create a wrestler. I'd make you.
Thank you.
And I'd make Thom. 6'4", jacked, tanned, always looks good in his gear. Here we go.
We were looking at I was on a video on my phone, just looking at my wife had sent me a video, and Gallows happened to be beside me, looked down and goes, Jesus Christ, when was that? And it was like, that was when we were in the Bullet Club and we looked like shit, bud. You know, like not a care in the world, brother.
Yeah, that was 9 million Sapporos ago, but
no, but you know, it is cool because I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. Me and Gallows have this conversation a lot. I didn't get much WWE, WWF until my uncle. I would go to see my uncle in Detroit. He would show me tapes of Hulk Hogan and the whole WWF world. But I grew up in Asheville in North Carolina, and it was only TBS, you know, Saturdays and Sundays, 6:05 p.m., 5:05 p.m. It was the Rock and Roll Express. It was Ric Flair. It was Lex Luger. It was Nikita Koloff. It was the Midnight Express, Jim Cornette. I mean, that's what I grew up on, and what got. See, I act like I don't like wrestling, but I got chills thinking about those days now. But no matter what, though, no, I do. I know. But no matter what, and anybody can say whatever it is. I mean, how cool is it that, you know, that, and another thing, the Smashing Pumpkins lead singer, or the guy that I grew up watching. Sure. And who would have thought that you'd be working for something like that?
Yeah.
And you're also the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. I mean, how, you know, just, there's got to be something that just this. How cool does that sound?
Oh, I think a lot of the yeah, I understand the thing on the love-hate with the wrestling, right? But I think like what I tend to do is, and I do this quite a lot actually, is I always try to like, because when you're in it, it's very easy to get bitter and jaded, resentful, whatever, right? And so I have to put on the 12-year-old boy's shoes of Thom and go, Thom, look, like, you know, all the people that you grew up, you know, idolizing and watching. You're either pals with them now, or you wrestled them at what bunch or whatever, right? And the places you've been. I mean, I was born in England. You know, I didn't do very well at school. And all I wanted to be was a pro wrestler. And I grew up on American TV. I wanted to be American. I mean, I kind of class myself as American, but so even just being in America, that was a dream in itself. When I was a kid, I used to have like dreams about, like, you know, finally touching down on American soil and sort of kissing the ground, you know. And so, you know, what I do a lot of the time is I do put on the 12-year-old boy's shoes, because I'd honestly, and just being real, I wouldn't care for a lot of stuff. So I do have to sort of, you know, take a step back and appreciate and view it how I would do from the 12-year-old boy's me's perspective. And you know, and I do that in life and a lot of things. Like when stuff's not going very well, you know, there's always someone out there that's got it worse than you. You know what I mean? So stop moping about and sort of pull your big boy pants up. But yeah, no, I mean, it is very cool, and it is very special when you take those moments to step back, because just like you guys and the careers and the place that you guys have been, is you're always on to the next thing, so you never really have time unless you force yourself to be in the moment. And the thing about this job is it's all a moment, isn't it? And you have to remember that, because we're constantly pushing for this journey, this destination. And when we get there, it's going to kind of suck. It means it's all over. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure that I spend a little bit of time in it, appreciating it as best I can, you know.
That's a great, you know, I'm glad you say that. I will say this. We had an awesome opportunity. We did WrestleMania in Orlando at I think it was the Orange Bowl. Is that what it was called? Maybe WrestleMania 32. The Hardy Boys come back. Wrestle 33. The Hardy Boys come back to probably one of the greatest comebacks of all time in the history of professional wrestling, right? We're in the middle of the ring. We hear the Hardy Boys music hit. They come down. It's amazing. How cool could it be? We do the WrestleMania after party, and people are talking about Raw in about less than 20 hours. So I mean, they'd already moved on.
It's over in a flash.
They'd already moved on from what had to be one of the coolest things I'd ever been in, and they're already talking about Raw, and the Hardys are beating us, and we're already going
for tomorrow night.
And we're already going, well, why are the Hardys beating us? What the fuck's going on here? You know? And so we immediately stopped enjoying WrestleMania, and then Raw was already happening. If you can just learn to just live in it, just like we're learning to live in the fact that we're debuting at the NWA next Friday.
Absolutely.
Right, Kyle. Kyle seems like the guy that can sit and push the NWA, you know, to the moon.
He keeps steering you back.
I don't need to push anything. All I need to say is that Tuesday you can find out everything these gentlemen are talking about. NWA Power on Roku Sports Channel, 8 p.m. Eastern, replays at 11 p.m. And then also, let's face it, time isn't what we want it to be. It's a human construct. It doesn't really exist. So if you're that type of person, you could watch it on demand anytime at your own leisure. So go to the Roku app on all your Roku enabled devices and make sure you search NWA Power. You can catch up. You can see the Good Brothers in the near future. And better yet, go to NWALiveEvents.com and experience it live and in person. The Good Brothers debut in the modern era of the NWA. Gentlemen, is this accurate? The first time you two have tag team and the National Wrestling Alliance, you had singles roles previously.
100% the first time that we have tagged in the NWA. We're very excited about it. It's going to be great. Center Stage in Atlanta, like I said, my hometown. So that is very cool for me. Very excited about it. Thom, we're sitting here. It is Wednesday, October 8th. This should drop. Friday if our editors are on point, which sometimes, you know, I think they're sober. We'll see. It should drop Friday, October the 10th. So going into this weekend, you got any big shots this weekend? Anywhere they can see NWA World Heavyweight Champion Thom Latimer live?
I'll be honest, boys. It's I'm taking the next sort of 10 days off before Samhain.
Congratulations!
Whoa!
So I'm just gonna.
For you. Good.
I know. I don't know what I'm gonna do over that weekend. So say a prayer for me.
That's a champion. That's great. Yep.
He's got Thrillbilly Silas Mason coming up in Samhain, and that is a big son of a pitch.
That's a big son
the
of
Iron
a bitch.
Claw and everything else.
Yep.
So Thom's just preparing himself.
I love it.
For the need that's needed.
Yes, he's gonna pulverize me. So I'm gonna do my best to sort of relax this.
I have no doubt, but I believe in you.
Yeah.
I told
Thanks, mate.
I told my wife, I said, yes, I got to, it's a huge, so she told me all these things we had to do this weekend. I said, yeah, the schedule's crazy. I'm working this. And she goes, it's gotten crazy. She goes, you make your own schedule. You make your own schedule.
Well, tell her actually I make your schedule and I keep your ass busy.
She goes, enough of this schedule. Enough of this schedule's crazy. You and Gallows make your schedule. And I was like, yeah.
Well, if you want to see the Good Brothers tune-up for the NWA, you can see us this Friday night, Cocoa, Florida, Atomic Legacy Wrestling. Saturday, Honorary Wrestling Federation, Lewistown, PA. We'll cap it off on Sunday, OSCW, Old School Championship Wrestling in Charleston, South Carolina, baby. And then from there, we are headed to our NWA debut, Samhain, in Atlanta, Georgia. Center stage, baby.
Yes.
NWA Power on the Roku channel. You heard our man Kyle run it down. We'll have him run it down one more time before we get out of here.
Hold on. I got an email.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I got an email to it's for Thom. It's a question for Thomas. So listen, guys, hit email talkandshopgoodbrothers@gmail.com. I know Gallows is trying to get you guys out of here. Just give me 5 more minutes here.
No. I was
the subject is a question for Thomas. It's from Shoot Slam. Slam. Hello, Hoots. I hope all is well. I have a question for Thomas. Thomas, you've become the king of the mountain in the NWA. But looking back to the past, which previous version of yourself do you wish you would have found similar success? TNA's Bram or NXT's Kenneth Cameron? That's not a bad. Thank you for the question, pal. I like that. And we just talked talked about that. Do you? Yeah, please. The floor is yours.
Kenneth, I do. I feel basically well with that, right? I would have liked my WWE action figure, and I would have, of course, liked the WrestleMania moments, and I would have. So I think that if I could have gone back, if I could go back and redo that, I would, because it's like my brain now is at the point where I could survive a place like that and maybe thrive. I don't know, but it definitely wasn't mature and ready enough at the time, right? But my body and my willingness is probably lacking now, and so I would probably go back and I would read.
Yeah, you could.
I would thrive.
I would go. That was what I would do. Is I would go back and rewrite the wrongs there. You know what I mean? If I could, I would go back and I would redo Kenneth, because the gimmick too. One, I'm with Ryan, so I'm with my mate, but also like the gimmick, how we were doing it back in the day was super cool and super down my alley. And so, there's that too. It would have been nice to see how that would have gone, how that incarnation of it would have happened, because when the Ascension eventually went to on the road, it wasn't what it had been tweaked and sort of made more Road Warrior-esque than what we were doing. And so I just would love to have seen what that would have looked like with the machine behind it. The
NXT version of the Ascension was super cool. I remember the first time I saw you guys doing the gimmick, and like you said, once it came on to TV and you're not there, it was something totally different. So I agree with you. I think that could have been massive.
So excuse my ignorance on this. So was with Ascension, you were part of the Ascension at first?
He was part of the original Ascension, yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So if I could go back, that's what I would do. They don't see, you got to say you don't have any regrets, but I got some regrets.
Yeah, no, dude, that's okay with that. People say they live with no regrets, and I'm really quick to answer that. Like things, I do believe things happen for a reason. And you got to take it and roll with it, right? But I've got a couple of regrets.
What?
I wish I didn't do that a couple of fucking times. You know what I mean? Hey, I wanted to say quickly too, you talked about the dream of Vince firing you. I wish, and I look back on it the couple times I've been fired, I wish Vince called me and fired me, and it wasn't a couple of just random dipshits who I didn't know called me and fired.
Dude, I said that the original time. I go, when I get fired, I want Vince to call me and go, "You're fired."
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way.
None of the 3 fucking times did Vince ever pick the phone up. He didn't give a shit at all.
No. Guys, I appreciate you for coming in, for stepping in. Kyle, if like Gallo said, if you want to run down anything you want to run down, NWA on the road, we're excited. We have a lot of our own shit going on, but today it's all NWA stuff, day. And we're happy to have you here. We appreciate you guys for coming on.
Thank you. And Tom, will you hit your social medias where people can find you before Kyle gives us that amazing rundown?
Yeah, I think it's all under Thomas_Latimer_. I believe that's.
He threw a couple underscores in there, like big LG.
Thomas with an H. Thomas with an H.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but thanks for having us, boys. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you boys at Samhain, so it'll be good.
Love you guys.
No, we love you too. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And speaking of Samhain, obviously we've talked about it here, and this is thankfully going to air right before we need to. You go to NWALiveEvents.com, be a part of the action live and in person, be a part of the biggest resurgence in professional wrestling, 77 years, the National Wrestling Alliance, and you could be there, center stage, living the dream with all of us. Thom Latimer will be in the match against Thrillbilly Silas Mason, the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship on the line. And if you can't be there in person, don't worry. You can catch up on all things NWA. Go to nationalwrestlingalliance.com. You can follow us on social media at NWA. Those are the letters, not the rap group. We've been here for 77 years, first and foremost. And you could watch every week, Tuesday, NWA Power is on the Roku Sports Channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern replay, or watch it on demand anytime you want. Catch up on the whole season. Good brothers, thank you for having us on. We are very happy to be here, and I am very happy to be able to say that we are going to be able to hang out and make all that shit happen Friday. Samhain.
If we can just call the Fink from heaven down to send us out of here, that'd be great.
For the NWA, for
Welcome, Fink.
For the world's heavyweight champion,
thank you,
Thom Latimer, the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and the sexiest big man in the business, the big LG, Doc Gallows. This has been Talking Shop NWA.
Back to heaven, Fink. Back to heaven.
Fuck you, Carl. See you later.
Get back to heaven. Hopefully I won't see you soon, but I'll see you a long time from now.
See, now I feel bad because I'm going to have to do the ring intros for you guys because I'm also a ring announcer now.
That was great.
Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for waking up, boys.
Everybody, continue loving Talking Shop. We're out of here.
Good brother coin.